Okay, I think this is better. Good day, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. It's really amazing to finally get to talk about an initiative we've been working on for a while at Chaos. Chaos is an open source project by the Linux Foundation. What we do is we develop metrics, models, and softwares to measure the health, sustainability, and security of open source communities. So hence the name Chaos, Community Health Analytics for Open Source Softwares. So today I'll be talking about an initiative called Project Badging. So hence the name, can a badge save a project? Probably when I'm done, you might want to ask me if a badge can actually save a project. So today we are looking at sustainability from another angle. We've had awesome presentations from people on this track. We've had people talk about funding, security. So I want to talk about sustainability from the community side of things, especially when we know that there are a lot of open source projects that are heavily reliant on their communities to be sustainable. So that's the goal of Project Badging. So, but before I proceed, how many of us have heard about chaos? Okay, what about Project Badging? You have? Wow, that's awesome. We noticed a lot of people don't know about it, so I guess that's why I'm here. So, so most times we often measure success and sustainability of open source projects through quantitative and qualitative indicators. We are looking at dependencies, the libraries, frameworks that are reliant on a particular project. We are looking at the downloads, the installs, the forks, stars, and funding, which is very important. And then on the qualitative side, we are looking at the governance model, we are looking at the code of conduct, and the health of the community behind the project. So, and that's where project badging comes in. So, well, this is the agenda. We talk about it, how it works, the projects we've badged, and future of work. Okay, this is me. My name is Ijeoma. I'm a programs and events manager for tech startups, nonprofits, and open source projects. I'm a Chaos DI badging reviewer for the past 3 years, and I actively contribute to projects like Chaos, OpenSSF, Inner Source Commons, and then I'm a K-drama and C-drama lover. Okay, what happened? Okay, what is Project Badging? Project Badging is an initiative designed to recognize open source projects that exemplify best practices and strong commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. So that's what the initiative was initially built upon. But then with the whole new issue with Trump administration, we've seen a lot of people are trying to distance themselves from DI, even at chaos. Yes, so at a point, this project was abandoned. So yes, but it's funny because it was actually built for situations like this. We are trying to say, okay, we want projects to be very conscious about their community. We want projects to be sustainable. We want projects to be inclusive, to have newcomers come and contribute to sustain different initiatives in different open source projects. And then a project that is supposed to be like a reflection of that is getting the same treatment. So it was funny. So the objective of project badging is helping project assess and strengthen their DI practices, highlight and reward communities that put real effort. Nick? Okay, highlight and reward communities that put in real effort into inclusion and, yeah, diversity, and giving organizations and contributors a clear view of which projects are actually intentional about building healthy and fair environments for them to contribute to, and encouraging communities to document their processes, values, and expectations in a clear way. So when a newcomer or a new open source contributor comes to your project, they can easily understand what's the mission and vision of this project, and helping maintainers track their progress over time rather than guessing, and making DI a normal part of project conversations instead of an afterthought. And then on a deeper level, we are looking at having projects have something like the contributor ladder. I don't know how many of us know about contributor ladders, but it's something that we advocate for open source projects to have. We want to make sure that when people come to contribute to your project, that they see themselves probably starting from being just users or participants to probably someday sitting at the board or being a maintainer, get to that level. So that's what we are looking to achieve with our metrics, yes. And then how are newcomers treated? Do they feel welcome or lost? Ease of access? Is your project easily accessible? Clarity of documentation, support systems? Are there mentors, onboarding steps, or clear points of contact? Meeting people where they are? Are there clear contribution paths for people with different skills and levels, especially people that are very technical and a little less technical? Barriers that global contributors might face. This could be language barriers. There are a lot of people that might want to contribute to your project, but they don't understand English, and it's just Portuguese or French. So, there are situations like that. Then time zones, cultural differences, respect and safety in communication spaces. So, how does it work? So, first is you have to apply for the badge, and you have to self-assess and document, and then get the evaluation, the recognition, and continued engagement. So, let's take it one step at a time. So, for self-assessment, we have developed 4 metrics for project maintainers and owners to self-assess their DEI efforts or the health of their communities. So on project access, we are asking questions like, to what extent does your project provide access and help those with various access needs? What considerations for access may include for people with physical disability, people that are colorblind? Are you putting them into consideration? Neurodiverse people, a contributor's location, their native language, available internet bandwidth, or other potential barriers to participating in an open source project. So we are asking you to self-access all areas of the project considered open to community contributions. So for us at Chaos, we have our stated goal that everyone can contribute. And that's basically what open source projects are for. We are open, we want more people that can actually make impactful contributions to actually contribute. So we are advocating for more projects to actually be open, not just say they are open, but they are not. So is your project accessible for people to even find it and make those contributions? And then our virtual meetings, attentive to global time zones. I contribute to a lot of projects, and some I had to stop contributing to because when they have virtual meetings, it's like 12 a.m., I'm fast asleep. And so it has been a sync. And when you are not getting carried along, because it's through these meetings that we get to talk about initiatives, we talk about pitfalls, we talk about challenges that we are facing on a particular project, and that's where we decide, okay, let's work on this next. And then when you are not in these meetings, sometimes you might miss out on important information. And then we're also saying, do you even document, okay, Most times we encourage open source projects to, okay, record these sessions. For people that are not able to attend, is there a place that they can find recordings of your meetings, of your conversations, or documentation that they can easily look at to understand where the project is currently at or where it's headed? That's what we are asking maintainers to self-access under this particular metric. And then the next metric we have is the inclusive leadership. We're asking, how well is your project and community set up for diverse leadership? Yes, open source is open, it's global, it's everywhere. So we are always going to keep advocating for diversity, because when you come to open source project, you meet people from all walks of life, from different countries, and we also want to reflect that in your leadership. So we don't just want to keep seeing the same set of people, or people from the same region. We want, there is something that someone said one time. It makes a lot of sense when you join a project or you go somewhere and you find someone that you could easily relate with. Yeah, it makes it a lot easier, and it's the same thing with contributing to open source projects. So we are asking, our communities evaluating the pathways for contributors to grow into leadership roles, and see if these roles are accessible to everyone, because we want people to be able to grow into leadership roles. The leaders we have currently managing different open source projects, they're not going to be there forever. So we want a situation where people are making impactful contributions. They are, they get so immersed into the project that they can easily take on roles, even when people that actually started the project are no longer there. So then we're asking, does the project value and recognize different types of experts equally, technical and not technical? Because we've been advocating saying it's not just code, and I know a lot of us have heard. So these days, it's not just code contributions. We value even non-technical contributions, because now we want people to know about open source. We want people to know about what a particular project does. And most times the technical folks, they don't really have, I don't want to say, but you know what I'm saying. So some people have strengths when it comes to marketing, events, community building programs, and some people, they have strength with writing the code. So which means now we want people with various skills to actually make this contribution. So do you actually value those contributions, and do you even recognize them? So in Chaos right now, we have, since we said we are recognizing non-code contributions, so we have a repo on GitHub that where people can actually create an issue or a pull request to actually talk about or write in detail the non-code contribution they made. It could be you hosting a working group meeting, that's you contributing to open source, but those are contributions that you cannot reflect on GitHub because they are not code. So now we are saying, okay, you did something like this, is actually a contribution. So now go to the project repo and actually make a pull request. Say, I hosted a virtual session. I spoke at an event about one of the initiatives, like what I'm doing now. When I'm done, I'm going to go home and I'm going to create a pull request to say, I spoke about chaos today in Brazil, and that's me contributing to this project. And it's going to get merged, it's going to reflect on my profile that I did something like this. So that's how we actually value and recognize contributions, both technical and non-technical. Then we're also saying, do project leaders agree to a standard by which they can be held accountable? And then in terms of decision making, how does community leaders make decisions that affect the community, or is it a BDFL kind of thing? So the leaders in that, is it, are you saying, okay, we have leaders, but then it's just one person that makes all the decisions? So it's really not inclusive. So we're asking project owners to self-assess and self-reflect based on these questions. There are more questions, but then you have to, if you want to actually apply for the badge, you're going to see more of them. And it's not like it's the standard. There could be other things that you are doing in your project, which you can actually say, yes, I'm doing something like this, and it's still going to stand. And then um, the third metrics is the communication transparency. We want to ask how transparent is the communication in your project. Are community documentations publicly available? Can they be found? When someone wants to understand a particular initiative or the standing of an open source project, can they find them on your website or on your repo on GitHub? And then decisions that impact the project, are they shared across numerous working group meetings and associated channels to ensure that there are many members that can, participate in the process? We're also asking, are there any information that cannot be made public? If they are not going to be made public, let's say security and abuse vulnerabilities, financial information, private data, you can always point out that, okay, we have this document, but it's not public, just so that people can know. And then we're also asking, are you operating using a single source of truth for all community members? And then the last one I mentioned, virtual meetings recorded and uploaded to your project YouTube channel, to ensure that communication is transparent. Anything you are looking for, you can actually find it. Or if you cannot find it, there is someone you need to ask, and you actually know who you need to ask. And then but then we advocate that it should be there, because you don't want people always coming to ask you about a particular information. Why not just make it available for people to find it when they need it? And the last but not the least for now, the newcomer experience, which is like the most important of these metrics, because we always want new people to contribute to open source. We want new people to take up mantle of leadership. We want new people to make impactful contributions, bring in new, fresh ideas. So we're asking, how well does an open source project or community attend to newcomers? Do you welcome them? Do you guide them? Do you offer, let's say, mentorship sessions? There are some projects that if someone is not there to guide you, you are not going to understand. You are not going to know what to do, especially the very technical ones. So for projects like that, do you have processes set up to help new people that have interest in that particular project? And then are there avenues or documentations where newcomers can learn about the project? A start guide, a tour guide, onboarding sessions. At Chaos, we have a tour guide. I think we have those sessions once a month or bi-weekly or so. So when people indicate interest about what we do at Chaos, we have them scheduled for just a 30 minutes call. So we guide you on what the project is about, the different things, so you get to understand where you can actually make the most contribution based on your strength. And then are there good first issue for newcomers to work on? This mostly for technical projects, where people need to contribute code, so you want to ease them into the project slowly. So you create some good first issue to say, okay, you can work on this. Someone did that for me at I currently contribute to DevRev Foundations, so we are working on an initiative to create like what's a directory, let me put it like that, for DevRel folks. So I was confused at a point. I didn't know what contributions to make. So someone had to walk me through, created some good first issues for me to work on based on the conversation we had. And they figured out that, okay, it looks like you have a lot of strength when it comes to event planning. So why not work on event directory for DevRel folks? And that's exactly what I did. So we are asking projects to self-reflect and assess themselves based on these metrics. And after that, you apply for a badge. And when you are reflecting, you're actually putting it down to say, okay, we are doing this, we are not doing that. Okay, we can work on this, we can work on that. And after that, you can apply for the badge on our website. Then comes the evaluation. Okay, so we have a badging bot on GitHub that is going to automatically scan the repo or the file that you submit to actually make sure that you are addressing the four chaos DI metrics that we've actually developed. So after assessing it, we are going to give you a badge. This is what the badge looks like for now. So we are currently at, this is like the first level bronze. So when you have, upon successful evaluation, you get recognized with this badge. But it doesn't stop there. So we are saying, okay, this is not something you do and pack the bus. We want you to continuously self-reflect and assess your project to, keep putting in mind about the metrics or the efforts you are putting in terms of DI, sustainability and inclusivity. So you don't just self-assess, get the badge, and you forget about it, because a lot of things could change in a year. So it could be new project leaders, it could be new initiatives, or some issues with the project that could disrupt all the efforts you have put in the past year. So we are saying, okay, after 1 year, you want to reassess, you can come back to us, and we give you another badge. So these are the projects we've badged currently. Of course, we have to lead by example. And then GitLab, Kali Linux, the Good Docs project, Django, and Epivast Trace. So this is currently where we are. So we've been able to develop just 4 metrics on the bronze level. So we are seeking adoption. We want more open source projects to adopt this initiative and give us feedback. So we can only make progress when we are able to understand the pitfalls of what we've already worked on, and some gaps that we could actually reflect on the next level. So currently we have 3 more levels that we've not actually done anything on: the silver badge, the gold badge, and the platinum badge. And based on these levels, there are going to be different metrics, maybe more higher, more technical ones that you need to do a lot of things to be able to get them. So we are saying, come to us, adopt this initiative, and give us feedback, so we can go back to the drawing board and see what we can do to make this initiative better. So yeah, maybe you might want to ask me, can a badge actually serve a project? Well, I don't know. So yeah, thank you. I think that's it, yes. Thank you. I think I'm right on time, yeah?